Well, the government has committed to the ban of all new petrol and diesel cars by 2040, but a recent survey has found more than half the people asked were still more likely to stick to either petrol or diesel for their next car. Well, James Coates is from Eco Cars and joins us now. Morning, James. How are you?
Good morning, Eddie. How are you?
I'm doing all right, mate. I'm doing all right. James, come on then. What are the benefits of owning an electric car?
Mainly the price to run. So they're very, very cheap. The lack of servicing. So whereas with a diesel or petrol car, you need to take them in for regular maintenance, and it's quite intensive. With an electric car, it's very, very basic and generally a lot cheaper. And obviously there's the environmental aspect of it as well. So when you're sat outside a school, for example, picking up your children, you're not pumping out fumes for your children to breathe, or driving through the town, you're doing the same thing. So three pretty big factors there, which certainly sort of converted us.
So they're massive. I mean, these are big factors, aren't they? We're all trying to be environmentally friendly. It's going to be better for our wallets as well. But why are these benefits not enough to persuade more buyers to make the switch?
I think a lot of it is down to educating people. People don't understand. There's a sort of a myth around electric vehicles that they're still milk floats. That's what people assume of an electric car is. Some people don't even know they're on the road. I still speak to people now that are unaware of electric cars, and generally they tend to be still a little bit more expensive than diesel or petrol cars. So people only really see the initial outlay. So they'd look at a diesel Focus, for example, and think, I can buy that for £5,000, where they might look at a electric car and think, well, I've got to pay £12,000 for that. So they only see that. They don't look at the longevity of it and the overall running costs. So I think that could be one of a couple of the main factors.
How about something that's always, always kind of confused me a little bit, James, is charging them. How do you go about charging them? Because in my head, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to need £12,000 to buy the car, then another £10,000 to convert my garage into a charging hub. How does all that work? And is that relatively quite cost effective?
It is, yeah. When you purchase a new electric car, you can apply for what's called no-lev grant. You get £500 from the government to install the charger. That will normally cover the cost of it, depending on what charger you go for. And when you come home at night and you've done all your daily running around, you plug it in overnight, go to bed, wake up in the morning with a full battery. So that's generally how most people do it. There are, however, chargers spread around, dotted around the cities and towns that you can use, which are very fast for people who don't have a home charging solution. So there are ways of getting around it if you don't have a driveway, for example, if you live in a flat. But most people will charge at home overnight.
I mean, this is something you've tried to you've tried to quash these kind of misconceptions as well, haven't you? I know you are a massive advocate for electric vehicles. And I mean, you're Hinckley based, but you went to Aberdeen and back in an electric car.
Yeah, I've done that 10 times now. That's quite a regular route for us. But people still don't realise that you can charge them. Some electric cars have a very short range, and you have to stop quite a few times to do a journey like that, where others will go further. And as we progress, batteries are getting smaller, lighter, but more energy dense, so you can travel further. The new range of electric cars now is looking to be around the 250-mile mark, with some others offering up to 350. So long journeys are viable, and you don't necessarily have to charge them every night either. That's something else. People have this anxiety that surrounds them, that after being with one for a short amount of time really does disappear. It's just an experience, and changing your perceptions and the way you refuel and recharge. It's slightly different, but it is, as I say, a lot cheaper, and it's a nicer experience to drive an electric car.
Come on then, James, put your hands up. Be honest about this. Have you ever been caught short? Have you ever thought, oh no, I haven't got enough charge here. What on earth am I going to need a big extension cable now?
Yes, we have. Me and Kate together, we were we were in Scotland, actually, on the northern tip of Scotland, and we got let down by a charger. And we didn't have enough charge, and we got picked up by a diesel recovery truck, which ferried us 40 miles down the road to a charger where we plugged it in, and we went off on our way. However, that was years ago, and the charging infrastructure has got a lot better since then. It was very hit and miss and very unreliable, but times have changed, and there are chargers at most motorway services. And yeah, it's getting a lot easier to travel and a lot cheaper to travel.
Do you think the government are doing enough to make this easier for everybody?
Not in this country, I don't know. If you look at a country like Norway, for example, they're very proactive for electric cars. Their ban is a lot sooner than ours on internal combustion. And there's huge grants and incentives for people who want to buy an electric car. It's cheaper to buy an electric car out there than it is a petrol car, because they put huge taxes on the petrol cars. Whereas in the UK, there is a grant, but I don't think they're doing enough. They could do a lot more.
And tell me, the commitment to ban petrol and diesel is 2040. I mean, do you think this is a realistic kind of aim?
Yes, I do. I think actually it'll be before then, because since we spoke earlier on in the year, the acceleration in electric cars is coming on quite fast. There's a lot more electric cars coming onto the market, and a lot more people are waking up to it. We've seen a lot more sales recently. And the increase is coming on quicker. So I think as more come on the road and the more people see them, the more people will start to change, and it is happening quite quickly.
James, it's always great to talk to you. You've got a YouTube channel. You are strongly trying to push electric vehicles forward. Based over in Hinckley, a local lad. How can people find out more information about what you do?
You can either go onto eco-cars.net. That's where we move all our cars and sell cars, and if you're interested in them, just phone up for a chat if you want and just ask some questions. We're happy to do that. Or go on YouTube and look at James and Kate, and you'll find our YouTube channel and loads of others associated to it, which will tell you everything you need to know about electric vehicles.
James, great to speak to you. Thank you ever so much for joining us this morning on Breakfast. That was James Coates from Eco Cars talking to us after this recent study that shows that more than half of the people asked in it were still more likely to stick to either petrol or diesel for their next car. We'll have more on that for you as well a little bit later on today's show. Also asking you to get in touch with me today regarding what you do to kickstart your day. What do you do? What do you have? How do you get moving in the morning? We've already heard about Keith from Fleckney. He has 2 bananas. Got to be 2.